everyone, welcome back to the Barre Library. My name is Jen and today we're going to be doing a abbreviated version of the original Lotte Berk technique. This class is perfect for those who are just new to the technique and just getting their feet wet with it, or it could be used for people who just want something a little more quick if they don't have time for the full hour class. My intent is to make this available for people who need a more low impact workout with flexibility and strengthening, and maybe something that you can use at any age of the spectrum, from people in their teens all the way up through people who are well into their 70s and 80s, even just like our predecessors who still practice this technique today. So we are going to start with our warm-up, which is the same from class to class, and we're going to finish with our cool down, which is again the same from class to class. The only equipment you're going to need today is a sturdy surface such as a chair, a countertop, or a couch, or if you have a wall-mounted bar or a freestanding bar, that's great too. Otherwise, make sure you have some water nearby to give yourself some hydration in case you need it, and a towel to wipe up any sweat or for any other comfort needs that you have. So we're going to start with the warm-up. Feet are going to come hip distance apart. We're going to stretch our arms up to the sky. We're going to swing down, double bounce, and then come back up. So double bounce, and then come back up. See if you can give me a little arch in the back, and really try to get as straight as you can behind those legs. So it might not be available today, but we're going to work on trying to get those legs nice and straight, really stretching out through the backs of the thighs. Let's do a couple more of these. Really get into it. Swing that body. Get everything nice and lean, long, opened up, and warmed up. 2 more of these. We're going to do 1 more. And now we're going to open the legs up nice and wide. So we're going to reach out. Try to keep a nice flat back. Again, trying to get the legs nice and straight, or as straight as can be. And we're reaching. We're making sure we're pulling the belly button to the spine. We're trying to keep those shoulders away from the ears. We're going to do another couple of reaches. And now we're going to actually round the spine, tucking the chin into the chest, and just doing little taps on the floor. Again, trying to keep nice and straight behind those legs. Let's combine this move with the reaches, and we're going to reach, tap, reach, and tap. Really feel a nice stretch through the spine, through the backs of the legs, getting that heart rate up slowly, warming up the body, getting it ready for the rest of the workout. 1 more. Now I want you to stay nice and low. I want you to stack one hand on top of the other. We're actually going to come up. Imagine we're jumping out of the water, and then shoot the hands back through the legs. So up, over, and through. Really getting a nice undulation through that spine as we come up, over, and through. This is called porpoise. So imagine that you're like a porpoise or a dolphin jumping out of the water. Let's do 2 more. And then we're just going to do the shoot through the legs. So just shooting through those legs, taking a gaze at the wall behind you. And again, continuing to feel the nice stretch through the upper body, the shoulders, and the backs of those legs. Now, grabbing onto your shins or your ankles if that's available, I want you to draw the chest or pulse the chest toward those legs. These are called ankle grabbers, but for me they're more like shin grabbers because I really can't get that down to the ankle level just yet. Okay. Stack the hands again, this time drawing little figure 8s above the toes. I want you to keep the hips nice and still and just move through the spine. Undulate through that spine. I want you to softly bend the knees, slowly roll up to stand, bring the feet back together. We're going to come to the center of the room, arms are going to come overhead. My right hand is going to push into my right thigh as my left hand comes up and over. Really reaching through the side body here, because we are going to be working the waist in several different ways today. One of the highlights of this workout is the waist whittling effect that it has in pulling, come center, left hand down, right up and over. Pulling the waist in like a corset and using your own body to do so. So we're going to lift up and over. Now you may notice that this workout doesn't have any songs to it. And that's because it's the first one in the series. I want you to grab onto the elbows if you can and go up and over to the side. So as I said, there's no music here today, but feel free to pop on any of your favorite tunes or favorite playlists. And I will be incorporating music into the workouts as we move along. Bring the arms down to the sides and bring the shoulder up, really working through that side, getting everything nice and warm, nice and open. And now I want you to make sure you have some clearance behind you. We're going to open the arm up in big arm circles, opening up through the shoulder, opening up through the chest. Everything in this workout is about opening up, not rounding down per se, but the complete opposite arm as well, of being closed. We want to be nice and open. Now, we're going to take the arms, we're going to swoop them in front, and imagine we're slapping the palms behind us. So you can maybe see in the reflection here that I'm trying to kind of bring my arms behind here. Up, over, slap. Up, over, slap. Really give your chance to kind of open up, maybe get a few little cracks or adjustments as you do so. It's almost like a little flamenco here. Last one. Now bring the arms to the side, soft bend in the elbows, and we're just going to do tiny figure eights. Over and through, up, over, and through. Now keeping the hands silent, imagine that you're hitting the wall behind you. So this is getting the pectoral muscles, which are the muscles of the chest. I'm also feeling biceps and triceps as well as my upper shoulders. Now come up, do little ups. Almost like you're trying to take off, fly away. Make fists and go back again. Little back, 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 tiny circles. And then come center and clap the air. Still soft bend in those elbows, but we're just kind of clapping the air here. And we're going to bring the hands together, up overhead, and we're going to hit the wall behind us. So we're just moving the arms back. Again, feeling the arms warming up, upper shoulders, keeping that belly nice and tight, always engaging the core. And now bend, extend. So just bending at the elbows and extending. Bend, extend. A couple more. Last one. Let's bring the arms down, rolling the shoulders open and down the back. And now we're going to bring the hands to the shoulders, close the elbows if you can, and then bring them open. Close, open. So this is getting nice little rotation through the shoulders here, still opening up through the chest, warming up the upper body. And last one. Now I want you to grab onto your forearms. Now I have long sleeves on. Hold on to that skin and just push. So I'm holding on with my hands and just pushing the skin up as if I'm trying to push my sleeves up. And I have sleeves on, so it makes this simulation just a little bit easier for me. And now we're going to bring the hands down to the side. Take a look over your right shoulder, and then your left, and your right, and your left. And now tilt the head to one side, and then the other. Tilt right, tilt left, and then little semicircle forward to the right, and left, one more right, and left. And that is your warm-up. So it's quite comprehensive, and it really gets you warmed up from head all the way to toe. So now I'd like you to come over to your steady surface, standing bar, chair, whatever you have. And we're going to work the top of the thigh first. So I want you to bring your feet to hip distance parallel and keep straight behind both legs. So no bending in the knees. You want it nice and straight. We're going to bring that leg out, the outside leg out, nice and long and strong. We're going to pull that pelvis forward in a slight pelvic tilt. We're going to bring the shoulders down the back, so really plugging them down the back. Crown of the head is to the ceiling, and the arm's going to come out to the center of the room. We're going to bring that leg up nice and high, and all we're going to do is a big bend and stretch. Big bend and stretch here. Bend and stretch. So I'm trying to keep my leg up as high as I can. I'm not falling back here. I'm staying up nice and tall, and I'm really reaching and stretching through that thigh. Trying to keep it up nice and high here. Really think about what you're doing, keeping the inside leg nice and straight. Let's do two more. Last one. Now do little pumps up. So I'm going to actually do a little curve behind that knee. See how my knee is a little curve? Little pumps. Tiny, tiny movements here, still keeping all of this engaged. If at any point you need to take a break and stop, please do. Otherwise, we're going to pump up. Now I want you to bend, stretch, a little bend, stretch, bend and stretch. Tiny, tiny, trying to keep it as small as we can, trying to keep that leg up nice and high. Little bend and stretch, bend, stretch. I think I'm saying the opposite here. You get the point. Let's do 2 more. This last one, I want you to do a happy foot, which means a flex foot here. I want you to bring the arm up overhead if you can, otherwise you can keep it out. Little pumps up here, little pumps. Tiny moves, trying to keep nice and straight behind both those legs. Last one here, hold it up nice and high, release it down, stretch it out. So you should have been feeling that all here in the front of that thigh. Heart rate might also be up. So we didn't do any jumping or any plyometrics or anything really impactful, but we're working big muscles here, which causes our heart rate to elevate. Let's do the same thing on the opposite side. I'm going to start with my feet hip distance apart, nice and straight behind both legs. I'm going to be about an arm's distance or so from my bar. I'm going to extend that outside leg nice and straight. Point the toe, give myself that little pelvic tilt here, plug my shoulders down my back, crown of my head's to the ceiling, arm comes to the center of the room. Lift that leg up nice and high. Bend, stretch. Big bend and stretch. So here I'm trying to keep my leg up as high as I can. I've been doing this for a while, so I've been able to get my leg up to a nice high point. You go as high as you can, right? Without falling back, and I want you to still feel the work, okay? So high enough to feel the work, not so high as if you're gonna fall out of form here. Bend and stretch. Breathing, shoulders plugging down the back, crown of the head to the ceiling. Let's do 2 more. Last one, keep a little bend behind the knee and just do little pumps here. Little lifts, so feeling it all through here. That's the top of the thigh, that's your quadricep muscle. Inside leg staying as straight as we can get it. Some days it's easier than others, right? Little pumps, little lifts. And now we're gonna do a little bend stretch. So we're reaching through that toe. Imagine a beam of light pointing through that toe. I'm gonna move my arms so you can see. Give yourself a nice reach. If at any point you need to grab onto your hip, please feel free to do so. Otherwise, keep the arm out to the side, really stretching through. Let's do a couple more. And now we're gonna do that happy foot here and little pumps up. And the arm can come above if you want. Otherwise, you can keep it out nice and straight. You do what works for you. Maintain proper form. If at any time you have to take a break and come back, please do. We're just gonna be doing little happy foot pumps here. And now we're going to just bring our arm up. We're going to hold that leg up nice and straight. Try to come up a little higher. Hold. Release back and stretch. Give yourself a little opportunity to open up through that hip. Now we're going to work the hamstrings, back of the thigh. So I'm going to grab my chair here so that you can see exactly what I'm doing. I'm going to bring my feet together here, nice and solid. So I'm going to squeeze from my heels up through my glutes. I'm going to open my feet up into a tiny little pizza pie shape, making sure that I have that tilt toward my surface, okay? Your hip bones are always going to be shining forward. We're going to have a slight grip on that steady surface, shoulders plugging down the back, crown of the head to the ceiling. I'm going to semi-circle that leg around. I should have said a soft bend in both knees. So you can bend the knee on this one. Soft bend in both knees. I'm semi-circling that leg around behind me. And all I'm going to do is lift and tap the floor. So just little lifts here. Nice and easy. So just lift, tap. So we call this floor off. Floor off. Floor off. Those hip bones shining forward. And if at any point in time you feel that your tilt came out when you open that leg up, re-tilt. Okay, the move might not be big, but you should be feeling it all in the glute area here, as well as in the hamstring and the back of the thigh. So we're just going to do floor off, floor off, floor off. A couple more. Now, keep the leg up and just do little pumps up, up. So we're not touching the floor here. We're hovering, tiny movements. So if at any point you lose that tilt, re-tilt. Reface your standing surface, your steady surface, and just do little pumps up, 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 up. Good. Keep going, keep breathing. We're focusing all the work in the back of that body. Let's do 4, 3, 2. Now I want you to extend that leg nice and strong. Give me a happy foot here and just pump up. So now my leg is out on an angle. I'm going to retilt those hips toward my steady surface, my chair, my bar, and I'm just going to do little lifts. Up, up, up. Even feeling the work coming up into that waist here. 4, 3, 2, hold up, release down, and give yourself a little stretch. And now we're going to do the other side. So the key here is not to swing, it's not to do giant movements. It's these teeny tiny movements that really concentrate the work in the muscles. Okay, other side here. So we're going to keep the feet nice and sealed together. We're going to open up to that little pizza pie shape again. Bend both knees, which I failed to tell you to do earlier. Tilting the pelvis toward that surface, right? So we want to always make sure those hip bones are shining forward. I'm going to open my outside leg, for me it's my left, to a semicircle behind me. So if I was on a clock, I'd be at about 5 o'clock. I'm going to lift that leg up and I'm just going to lower up, floor off. So little moves here. I'm not going like this, right? I'm keeping it small because I'm feeling the work. I'm feeling that glute engage immediately. And then the work travels down here and eventually it'll come up into my sides. This is mindful movement. It's not about like killing yourself. It's about really thinking about what you're doing, concentrating on the muscles that are being worked, and just feeling good about it, feeling nice and stretched, elongated, and strong. Keep those hip bones shining forward. We're just tapping the floor and coming up. Floor off, floor off, floor off. And pretty soon we're going to remove the floor out of the equation. Let's do 2 more. Last one, just little lifts up. Up. Again, those hip bones are shining forward. If they come open, if you lose your tilt, re-tilt. Now the tilt is going to dictate how much that leg comes up. See, my leg's not coming up very high, but I am definitely feeling that work. I'm keeping those hip bones drawn up and toward my steady surface. Those belly buttons are engaged up toward that spine. Shoulders plugging down the back. Crown of the head to the ceiling. Little up, up, up. Let's do 3, 2. Now extend that leg nice and long. Happy foot here. Little pumps. So here we're feeling it traveling up into the side of that waist now. And we're just doing little pumps up, up, up. Keep breathing. Keep focusing on what you're doing. My standing leg is shaking because it's also working by supporting the weight of my body. Up, up. 4, 3, 2. Hold it up. Release down and give yourself a stretch. Do what you need to do. Shake it up. Okay, so now we're going to do the outside of the thigh, which is this part of the leg. And we're going to do something called standing tall. So I want you to bring your legs wider than hip distance apart. And you're about an arm's distance away from that surface, okay? All the rules apply. Shoulders plugging down the back, crown of the head to the ceiling, and you're giving yourself that little tilt in. All we're going to do here is just bring our leg out to the side, and you can even have this inside leg should be nice and straight, and we're going to bring that leg out to the side. We're going to keep it straight. We're going to rotate that leg into the hip socket, so we have a slight curve there, and we're just going to do some taps, little taps like we did earlier. Okay, we're just tap, tap, tap. Trying to keep that inside leg nice and straight. Trying to stand up nice and tall, not rounding into our chairs like I was just doing. Little taps. Leg is shooting out from the side of the body here. Now I want you to bring it up. Little ups here. So again, the work is being felt in the side and in the side of the thigh. So the work is being felt probably from about here to here on me. And you can even try to lean toward lean this way a little bit. Lean toward the working leg, and you feel it even more in the hip. Up, up, up. 4, 3, 2. Now straighten, little bend and stretch. Like we did earlier, stretch and bend. Tiny moves here. I'm barely moving. Little stretch and bend. Stretch, stretch, stretch. Let's do 4, 3, 2, 1. Give me a happy foot and just hold, leaning over if you can. Hold 4, 3, 2, release down and stretch to the side. So you should have been feeling the work on the entire side of your body. And now we're going to work the opposite side. So I'm going to move my chair over here. We're going to be about arms distance away. And again, we're going to bring the shoulders down. We're going to keep that belly nice and tight, tilting forward. And we're going to bring the outside leg out. Relax it in the hip socket so that the heel's coming up off the floor. And you have a tiny bend behind that knee. Straighten the inside leg, little taps here. You can bring the arm out to the side. And then eventually we'll lean this way. But for now, let's just do a little tap, tap. So we're just working that leg here, and little taps to start, and then we'll do our little ups. And you can always bring the hand to the hip if it becomes too much. But here you should be feeling the work on that inside, on that leg. And if you're not feeling it, we need to turn your leg in just a little bit more. And now let's just do little ups, up. And you can lean if you want to, and you'll get into that side a little bit more, because it's almost like a constant crunch on that oblique there of that working leg. So up, up, up. Keep breathing. I know my inside leg is shaking. It's getting tired. Let's do 4, 3, 2. Now bend stretch. Little bend stretch. Bend reach. Really point through the toe. Keeping the core tight, trying to keep those shoulders from hiking up. Mine were because I'm getting tired. Let's keep reaching, reach, reach. 4, 3, 2. Give me a happy foot hold. See if you can lean over toward that foot. Hold 4, 3, 2, 1. You can release and stretch that side out. Okay, let's move our chair out of the way for a minute. We're going to actually come back to it in a second, but I wanted to just give you a quick little stretch on the floor here. So we're going to come down to the floor. I'm going to bring my right foot into my body. I'm going to sit up nice and tall, hover the left leg off the floor, and just give me little ankle circles in one direction and then the other, and then switch. So this is a good way to get the tops of the thighs nice and stretched out. And then we're going to bring both feet down. I want you to push the backs of the knees into the ground, and your heels will automatically pop up here. Just stretching out through the tops of those thighs. We're going to actually work calves next. And then point, happy, point, happy. So just to turn on the side, you're just doing little points and happies. All right, so we're going to do a little bit more work here. Let's come onto all fours. And we're just going to down dog here, pushing ourselves into a downward facing dog, pushing the chest toward the thighs, and you can walk hands to feet or feet to hands. Very slowly roll back up to standing. Head is the last thing to come on up. Now we're back here at our sturdy surface because we're going to work the backs of the legs. Again, we're going to work the thighs. So what I want you to do is bring everything nice and close. Let's do parallel today. So we're going to stand in a parallel position. Feet are going to be hip distance apart, shoulders plugging down the back. Abs are engaged, but we're not tilting, so you don't have to worry about doing a tilt here. I want you to stand up nice and tall. Imagine you have a book on your head. Come up to the balls of the feet if you can, and down. So we're just going to lift and lower, lift, lower. So we're trying to build some heat in the calves, into the back of the leg, trying not to lean too forward here, and trying to stay nice and straight and tall, up and down as we work the calves, and then you'll eventually feel the work coming up into the backs of the legs again. Just lift, lower, lift, lower. So now we're going to add a little bit of spice to it. We're going to just go up, little ups. So I'm up and nice and tall on the balls of my feet, and just giving little up pulses here, little ups. And this should additionally add some heat into those calves and into the backs of the legs. Up, up, up. 4, 3, 2. Now we're going to go halfway down, come all the way up, come all the way down, all the way up. So it's half up, floor off, half up, floor off. So that's what you're going to do here to finish the backs of the legs. Half up, floor off, half up, floor off, half up. Keep going, making sure we're standing tall, Keeping those belly buttons drawn in and upward toward the spine. Let's do 2 more. Half up, floor stay up, little pumps up again. Really trying to pull the quadriceps up off the knees, as well as those calves are nice and engaged. 4, 3, 2, just hold it nice and tall for me. Squeeze, release down, and you can kind of shake everything out. I'm going to grab a quick sip of water, and then we're going to move on to our last leg exercise before we head into some ab work. All right, so we're going to do a wide second position. This section of class is called serious thigh. So we're going to come down into our wide second position here. We're going to make sure that our feet are turned outward in a turnout, and that our knees are never going over our toes, and that our legs are always pushing backward. Now you can bring your hand out to the side, and we're just going to start with a little 1 down, up, up, down, up, 1 down, 1 up. I can't talk today. Down, up, down, up. And we're just going to keep going here, nice and small. We're going to go down, up, down, up, down, up. And the arm is out to the side. Shoulders are plugging down the back. And we're going to go 4, 3, 2, stay low, and just pulse it for me here, pulse. So we're in our work zone. We're staying where we're feeling the tension. We're not coming too far out of that work zone. We always want to make sure that we're making the most of our time here as we pulse down, down, down. Let's do 4, 3, 2. Now let's lift the inside heel here, the heel that's closest to our standing surface, and we're just going to do little pulses with the heel up here. Feeling the inner thigh of this leg working, and as well as those calves. 3, 2, and now switch. Other heel comes up, little pulses down here. Shoulders are plugging down the back, the crown of my head is to the ceiling, keeping my spine nice and neutral, belly button engaged. 4, 3, 2, now go both heels, up, down, if you can, up, down, doing a great job. Let's do 4, 3, 2, 1, one more set of pulses. If you want to bring one or both arms above the head, making sure that the shoulders are plugging down the back, and then the knees are pressing toward the back and they're not collapsing in, keep them safe. Let's do 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, hold low, hold 4, 3, 2, 1, release, and we're going to give ourselves a quick little stretch here. So I'm going to come over to my standing surface, and I'm going to give myself a nice L stretch, stretching through the backs of the legs, stretching my arms nice and long. And you can even bend one knee and straighten one leg, and then bend the other knee and straighten the other leg. Getting a good stretch in. We will stretch again at the end. All right, and we're going to come up here. We're going to do a little stretch here on the surface. So see if you can inhale up, bring your leg up, and exhale over the leg. Now, it's taken me a while to get to this point. You do what works for you. If your leg is up here and you're still feeling a stretch, stay here. You can do little fold overs. So you're bringing your chest to your leg, or you can just hold in the stretch, or you can bend, stretch the leg. I just want you to just feel a nice stretch without pain, making sure that the opposite leg is right under the opposite hip. And we're going to hold the stretch for a little bit longer. I found this stretch to be like the most effective stretch I've done consistently. Inhale up. See if you can exhale and bring this leg behind, giving yourself a quadricep stretch. Draw that hip forward, pull that foot back. And we're going to inhale up. Opposite leg's going to come up and over that surface if you can. Exhale down, and then like I said, you can bend, stretch if you want to, or you can do little fold overs, or you can just hold. I just want you to feel a nice stretch through the hamstring here. This is a very tight area of the body for a lot of people, and I'm using myself as an example. And with consistently stretching this area of the body, I found tons more flexibility and a lot less pain. Inhale up. Exhale, bring that leg off and bring it into a nice quadricep stretch here. Draw the hip forward as you pull that leg back. All right, we're going to release. So we're going to come and I want you to grab, we're going to start doing our ab work here. So I want you to grab your chair, and this is feet under the bar work. A lot of people don't have a bar. You can also do the same work with your feet against the wall. So I'll show you on the chair this week, and next week I can show you on the wall. So we're going to come down, we're going to bring our heels so that we are pushing them down on the surface. And we're going to lay down nice and flat, and the low back is going to stay on the ground. Let's bring the arms over the head. Oh, you might have felt that low back pop up. Push the low back into the ground, right? We want to keep the entire lower body nice and steady. And we also have our feet, our heels pushing into our steady surface. I want you to roll up, grab the back of your legs. Low back is still on the ground. This is called our fold over position. And you're just going to lift and lower. I want you to take your gaze over that belly button. Lift and lower. We're not bringing the shoulders all the way back. We're just doing little fold overs here. If this ever becomes too much for your neck, bring the hands behind the head, push the weight of the head into the fingertips. Keep that gaze over the belly button, and imagine that you're trying to bring your ribs up over your abs. So we're just going to lift, lower, 4, 3, 2, hold up. Ready? Close the elbows, open. All that's moving are my elbows, drawing together and opening. Close, open. My belly button, my gaze is still over my belly button. My low back is still pushing into the ground. My heels are still pushing into my steady surface. Close, open. Close, open. Last one, close, little fold overs. So now I'm imagining I'm trying to curl into a ball as I do my little fold overs here. This is the last set, and we take a little break. Fold over, over, over. Keep going. If you ever need to take a break, come back. Please do. 4, 3, 2, crunch up like a ball, hold, release down, bring the arms overhead, and we're going to roll in and out through the pelvis. Draw the tailbone down to the ground, then the lower back. So see how I'm rolling in and out? It gives you some relief through those abs. Take a nice deep breath. Okay, I want you to bring that low back onto the ground again. My heels are still pushing down into my chair. Arms are going to come up to the ceiling, and my gaze is going to stay up toward the ceiling this time. And I'm just going to lift and lower. Same thing we did with the fold over, except my gaze is up toward the ceiling. Again, if this becomes too much, put the hands behind the head and lift, lower. Never bringing the shoulders completely back down onto the ground again. We're just going to lift, lower, lift, lower. Keep going. You've got this. Up, down, 4, 3, 2, 1. And now I want you, so if your hands are up here, I want you to bring them behind your head and close, open. So all that's moving, and do the same thing in flat back we did earlier. Close, open, gaze up at the ceiling. My shoulders are up off the floor, low back pushing down, heels pushing in. 4, 3, 2, 1. Let's extend the arms out toward the side so they're floating over the carpet. We're going to reach forward, but we're going to keep that gaze up. So we're just lift and lower. If again this becomes too much, put the hands behind the head. Reach, reach, gaze is up at the ceiling. Reach, reach, reach. Let's do 4, 3, 2, 1. Release down. Bring the arms above the head, roll in and roll out. Okay, so what we're going to do now is a waist whittler, but I want to kind of like set you up in the position first. So we're going to go back to that flat back lift for one move. So the low back is on the ground, the hands are up at the ceiling. I want you to lift the shoulders up off the ground. I want you to do left, right. So we're just reaching each hand little by little. So see how your core is like just moving ever so slightly? This is a waist whittle. Now I want you to bring your hands together and slide them up and down. See? Same thing. Little waist whittler here. Now to progress this to the actual whittle point, so see how my core is just barely moving? Bring the hands over the chest. Now do that same little whittle movement.
low back is on the ground, and I'm just going left, right, left, right. I'm not really going big. I'm going left, right, left, right. So you're feeling the work right in here, right in that six pack. Left, right. This is a waist whittler. It's amazing what it does for your abs. Let's do 4, 3, 2. Hold the whittle position here. See if you can lift those shoulders up off the ground. Hold 4, 3, 2. Relax down. Bring the arms overhead. Bring the feet down. So if you're against the wall, you can push them into the baseboard. Otherwise, we're going to do what's called an elephant. So push the low back into the ground again. Upright the head, neck, and shoulders, grabbing behind those thighs. And I want you to bring the hands behind the head. Keep the shoulders up high. You're going to lift up for 1. Stay up. Lift up again. 2. Lift up again. 3, 4. Elephants. Keep going. 5. Never come down. 6, 7. We're only doing 12. 8, 9, 10, 11. Last one. 12. Bring the soles of the feet together. Open the legs. Hands come together, and we just are going to shoot through. If this is too much, bring the hands behind the head. We're going to lift, lift. Look at the belly button as your chin comes up and over in a fold over position. 4, 3, 2, 1. Lift up nice and high. 4, 3, 2, 1. Down and stretch. You can bring your legs over to one side. It always feels so good. Open them in the center and stretch. Bring them over to the other side. We have sardines, and then we're ending out with a final stretch, so we are almost there. Roll up onto your side. You can push your chair out of the way, and we're going to do sardines, which is a little bit more ab work. And in a traditional class, everyone would be kind of lined up like sardines in the can, which is why this is called sardines. So we're going to grab behind our legs and roll ourselves back down so that our head, neck, and shoulders are off the ground. Okay, we're going to, again, we're in this lifted position. We're just going to lift up. Bring the hands behind the head and do fold overs here. Up. So I'm pushing the weight of my hands, my weight of my head into my fingertips, and I'm just lifting, looking at my belly button, doing my fold overs here, just like we did on the chair, except now our feet are on the floor. Lift up, up, up. 4, 3, 2. Now I want you to extend the right leg and the right arm and just reach, reach. So my upper body's staying still, and I'm just extending through the arm and the leg of the same side of my body. Reach, reach, reach. 4, 3, 2. Hold, and now switch sides. Right hand comes behind the head, and left arm and leg stretch, stretch. I'm looking at my toes or my belly button, keeping my shoulders up off the ground, keeps all the tension in those abs. Reach, reach. 4, 3, 2, 1. Take a quick little minute to rest back. Bring the legs to tabletop. Upright the head, neck, and shoulders if you can, and just tap, tap. So never let the knees come too close or too far. They're at 90. And we're just tapping. Little toe taps here. Tap, tap. Good. Keeping the head, neck, and shoulders up. And if you have to keep them down, please feel free to do so. Low back is always pressing into the floor. Let's do 4, 3, 2, 1. Keep the legs here. See if you can upright. Float the hands and reach. Let's get the obliques. Reach. Side, side. I'm keeping those head, neck, and shoulders up. We're reaching those fingertips toward each side here. Get the sides of those abs. The obliques for 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Release down. Bring those legs out for a little stretch. We have a couple more moves here, and then we'll be done for the day. All right, so let's bring those legs, if you can, up to the sky, okay? We're going to upright the head, neck, and shoulders, and we're going to reach for those toes. If this is too much for the neck, bring the head back and look at the toes like we did when we did those flat back lifts. Look at the ceiling. Up, up, up. Let's do 4, 3, 2, 1. Hold it up. see if you can extend those arms out to the side. Do some arm walks here. Nice and dancy. If this becomes too much, you can always bring your knees to tabletop or completely on the floor. I just want you to keep those head, neck, and shoulders up off the floor. 4, 3, 2, 1. Hold everything long and strong. 4, 3, 2, 1. Release down. Bring it all out and stretch. We're going to do some palming, and then we're going to do our final stretch. So I just kind of like to take this opportunity to really stretch through my sides, stretch through my core. Now I want you to bring the soles of your feet together in a nice long diamond. Upright the head, neck, and shoulders, and we're going to shoot the hands through the legs like we did on the chair or against the wall. This is called palming. We're going to go up, up, up. Keep going. 4, 3, 2, hold. 4, 3, 2, 1. Release down and give yourself another stretch again. I'd like you to bring your knees into your chest, roll back up here. We're going to inhale, arms come overhead, exhale, swoop down. Inhale, arms come overhead, exhale, swoop. Inhale, arms come overhead, exhale, one more. Inhale, arms come overhead, exhale, swoop down. So we are now going to move into our final stretches of the day. So I'd like you to come into a child's pose. I should probably have you roll off a little bit more, but I'll get the transitions down. Come into a nice child's pose. You can open the legs nice and wide, tent the fingertips. And come on up to all fours. I want you to arch the back up and hollow out. Arch up and hollow. One more. Arch and hollow. See if you can sit on top of your feet here and lift both legs up. If this is too much, because we are stretching lots of bones and ligaments in the tops of the feet, you can always do one leg at a time. And now let's open our legs up into a nice wide straddle if you can. Go as far as you can. Honor your body. Bring your arms behind so you have a nice straight spine and just push yourself forward. Feel the insides of the thighs. And I'd like you to round over and imagine you're crawling toward an oasis. Really crawling through the upper back here. And now push forward as if you're rolling some dough. And I want you to inhale, come up. Turn to the right foot. Right hand comes behind the back. Left hand comes over. And we're doing little fold overs, or you can just hold in the stretch. You do what works for you and go as far as your body will allow. Come center. Opposite side. Left hand comes behind the back. Right hand comes over, and we're reaching over the left leg, folding over or holding. We're going to come center. I want you to come all the way down. We're going to do like a swoop. I want you to take your left hand, bring it over to the inside of the left leg. Open your right up to the ceiling. Take the gaze up. Now swoop to the opposite side. Right hand comes to the inside of the right leg. Open the chest and swoop. Left side again. Right side again. I want you to bring the feet together. Happy feet. Inhale up. Exhale, fold over. And again, you can do little fold overs or you can hold. Reach as far as your body will allow. Inhale up. Exhale, give me a curve back. Inhale up. Exhale, fold. And hold and fold. Do what feels good. Inhale up. Exhale, curve back. Last one. Inhale up and overshoot where you were before. Try to get a little bit deeper than you were earlier. And come center. Let's come down to a bridge. So I want you to bring the feet hip distance apart. Lay down. Bring the arms over the head. Bring the hips up to the sky and feel the stretch in the front of the thighs. Drop the tailbone down to the earth. Push back up. Drop the tailbone down. Push up through that spine, up through the thighs. Last one. Bring the tailbone down. One more good push up. Now come down. Bring the knees into the chest. Push the shins into the hands. And do little rocks here. Give yourself a spinal massage. Now cross one ankle over the other. Hands come behind the head. Head, neck, and shoulders stay still as we bring the knees toward the chest. And then switch. Bring the knees into the chest. Roll up one final time. Take a nice seated position. Give yourself a nice round of applause. You have completed an original Lotte Berk workout here, and it was an abbreviated version. We did manage to hit all aspects of the thighs, of the legs, and of the core. So I would like to thank you so much for joining me here today. I hope you feel invigorated, long and lean, and strong, which is how I always feel after completing one of these workouts. Please come back sometime soon. I have lots of other exercises to share with you, and I'm really excited to have you here at the Barre Library. Thanks again, take care, and see you soon. Bye.